I love how these YouTube live broadcasts start by saying you can broadcast live for up to 8 hours. I'm not going to do an 8-hour video. I hope to do 10, 15 minutes, although we'll see how this works out. I'm going to install Grasshopper on Reclaim hosting, and I'm going to do it in real time. If it doesn't work, you'll see where it doesn't work, but it should work. And the point of this is to show you as clearly as possible how you can install Grasshopper on Reclaim hosting for yourself. Now, this should work for pretty much any cPanel site with the usual setup. Can't guarantee it because I haven't tested it on them, but it should. And those of you who are installing Grasshopper, just on your own LAMP server or whatever, these instructions should be helpful. There'll be some differences, but if you're messing around with a LAMP server, you should know the difference. For most of you, this video won't be helpful at all because you're not going to be installing Grasshopper anywhere. Don't feel you have to install Grasshopper for this course. You do not. This part of the course is only for those people who want to be really experimental, mess around with the code, as I mess around with the code through the course, and try things out. Get a sense of where we're headed, at the deep technological level as we head toward e-learning 3.0. But you might find it interesting. We'll see. Anyhow, I've killed, I don't know, there's no timer on this thing. But anyhow, I've wasted a bunch of time, and let's not do that anymore. So what I'm going to do is going to share the screen. I wish I could do a picture-in-picture on this, but I don't think I can. So I don't even know how to share the screen. Isn't that terrible? Hangout toolbox. Is that? No, that's not. It's a stupid thing. It's never useful. Share the screen. Share the screen. Screen share. Okay. So I think I might as well share my entire screen. Screen one, which is the one over there. So there it is. Any way to do a picture-in-picture? I don't think so. There's probably a way to do it, but I don't know. Anyhow, okay, so there's some code I was messing around with. So let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that little bit of test. Let's get rid of that. 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 And expense calculator. So here we are. This is my plain background screen. I'm going to open up Firefox, and I'm going to go into Reclaim hosting. So why don't I do that? So I'll just pull a window over. So here we go. And let's just verify that we're still saying that. Sure we are. So Reclaim hosting. So I can never remember where it is. Sorry, Jim. It's probably just Reclaim or something. Okay, and I've mistyped my own name. So this is what happens when you do these live videos and they're unedited. So I just, okay, so here's Reclaim hosting, client area, .php. So I've already set up an account on Reclaim. They're really cheap. My account is $100 per year. That's why sometimes Grasshopper is a little slow. It's because I'm running it on that. So I'm just going to log in. One moment. Logging in. Let's get back there. All right, so this is what I see when I log in. So when you've created a Reclaim account, you've probably created a website. What I recommend if you're installing Grasshopper, give yourself a subdomain. Subdomains are really easy to build. So here's my domains, right? So here we go. Oh, right. Never mind. That's the reclaim stuff. Let's go into cPanel. cPanel. We like cPanel, right? And down here somewhere, add on our subdomains. Here it is right here. So I'm going to click on subdomains. And so I've got two root domains, downs.ca and mook.ca. So I think I'll create a subdomain called LAK, because this is the learning and analytical knowledge or whatever it is that we did with George a while back. No, we didn't do that. I don't know what we did. I'm trying to remember. Oh, it doesn't matter what we call it. Call it REL. Sure, we'll call it that. So this is going to be my document root. You see how it made it for me? And I'm going to create that subdomain. So voila. Oh, right, you can't see me waving my hands. It takes a couple of seconds on Reclaim because, well, it takes, it's staging a whole bunch of resources. I'll have a sip of coffee while I wait. All right, rel.mook.ca has been created. Awesome. So let's go back home to cPanel again. And let's see what that's bought us. So you see there's a little bit of a lag there. It's not the fastest account in the world. I used to have it on a fast account, but it was really expensive. So I'm trying to shove everything in Grasshopper into something really small. So let's look at the file manager. So there's the file manager, and you can see my new site that I've created down here, rel.mook.ca. It's pre-created a CGI bin directory for me, and that's about it, right? Not too much. So first thing I need to do now is to get the code from GitHub. So let's go to GitHub, github.com, and sign in or whatever. You don't need to sign in. So what is mine? Downs? Oops, I'm always misspelling my name. There we go. And so GitHub Downs Grasshopper. GitHub/Downs, github.com/Downs/Grasshopper. Right? And that's where the code is available. So clone or download. So, right? You can open it in your desktop and use it in GitHub desktop or download zip. Now look, people who know GitHub know that you can download and expand all of this stuff with a one-line command, right? But let's face it, a lot of people don't know GitHub. I'm just going to click on download zip. I'll open with Windows Explorer because why not? So it's going to take a few seconds to download. Here it is. Grasshopper Master. They call it Master because that's the master branch. That's the release version. That's the branch that you want. It's the only branch that exists, so you can't go wrong, right? So if we look inside it, we see all kinds of stuff. We don't care about that. Let's go back to this. So extract all files. So I'm going to extract everything. So I'll just extract it to documents/Grasshopper Master. That's easy enough. So again, it's going to take a little bit to extract these. Again, I'm doing this the long way, right? If you know how to do it, you could SSH directly into your account on Reclaim Hosting and run a git command to download this and expand this, and it'll pretty much expand it all into the right directory, although I would expand it into a staging directory and then move stuff as needed. All right, but here we are. Here are my files, Grasshopper Master. Another thing to note here, I wonder if I can make this bigger. Of course not. Oh, no way to make it bigger. I like browsers. You can just make the text really big quickly, but Windows, not so much. So there's two really big things here. There's CGI bin, that's where all the program is kept, and then HTML, that's where everything else is kept. I can't even remember what's in, oh, the module stuff, toys that I'm playing with. You don't need to worry about them. This is some other stuff you don't need to worry about mostly. Okay, so these are all of our files. In CGI bin, let's go into that. And then you see there's a directory here called SQL. And then Grasshopper ple.sql. That's a really important file. That's the file that contains all the database for Grasshopper that comes out of the box for you. Right now, there's only the PLE, which stands for Personal Learning Environment. When I'm done in this course, there will be another one called Grasshopper MOOC, and that'll be what you need if you want to offer your own MOOC. All right, so let's stop wasting time because it's 4:30 and I want to go home. I want to be home by 5. Well, I want to be out the door by 5. Okay. So what do we need to do? I think let's first create the database for our new website. So I'm back in cPanel here and reclaim hosting. There we go. And present to everyone. I am screen share, present to everyone. I have no idea what that green bar is saying present to everyone means. I am screen sharing and presenting to everyone. Please tell me that all of this other stuff worked. Okay, crap. I don't know whether I was presenting to everyone there. Okay. I went to GitHub. I clicked clone or download. I clicked on download zip to download my file. And then I opened them in. So here's the zip file that I downloaded. And I clicked on extract all files. And that opened them to, well, here. And these are all the files that I've downloaded from GitHub. Again, the address on GitHub was github.com /grasshopper, gRSShopper. And for cPanel, or for Reclaim, what I did here is I first clicked on subdomains, and then I just simply created a subdomain. I typed REL and then clicked on create, and that created my subdomain. And all we did there is it created this. Here it is here. It created this file area for me, and it created the CGI bin inside that file area. There, that's everything that was on the screen if you didn't see it before, rather than going back and starting this video from scratch because I'm super lazy. All right, so I've got my files. I've got my extracted files from GitHub. Here they are. And remember, inside CGI bin, inside SQL is grasshopper-ple.sql. So let's go back to cPanel. Okay, is that it? Oh, that's not where I was. Let's close that. Let's go back to cPanel. Here we go. And what I'm going to do, we'll go back to, I'm going to click right on the record there. So that takes me back to the cPanel home. I'm going to scroll down until I see databases and MySQL databases. Now, you're going to want to take some notes here as you're doing it yourself, right? Maybe I'll just take the notes here. I'll use a little notepad. So here's my little notepad that I'll use. Just a little application called Note Tab. I love it. Except I can never get, whoops, and I just closed it. Silly me. But I can never get rid of that side panel. I don't know why. All right, we'll just make it small here. All right, so databases. MySQL databases. I'm going to click on that. And so create new database. So remember our site was called rel. I like to keep things all consistent, so we'll call the database rel. Now, here it says downs CA for me because that's the name of my account on Reclaim. Yours will be something different. It might be FredCom or whatever. But it's always the same, so don't worry about it. So I'm putting REL in here. I'm going to create the database. And voila, it has created the database. That was fast. And now we're going to go back. We're not done. So now, you see I got a bunch of databases. We need to create a new user for the database. We'll call it down CA REL because I like to keep things consistent. The user needs a password. What will the password be? Well, it doesn't matter. Just you choose your own password. I'm going to choose mine, but I'm not going to tell you because I don't want you to hack my site. So thank you very much. So, okay. So, how's that, eh? Very strong, 100 out of 100. So these are actually different for every site that I use, and I have a little algorithm that I use in my head that I can use to generate passwords. And it's pretty hard to guess, so people can't guess my password, but it lets me create a unique password for every site that's very strong. So there's my user. I'm going to create my user. And let's remember that the database name is down CA or underscore rel user, same thing, underscore rel. I write these down. If you got a good memory, you don't have to. But you know, I mean, it's kind of hard to retrieve after. So we've created the user. Now, third, we have to give the user permissions on the database. So we've added our user. So down here, add user to database. So let's find our user, down CA underscore rel. Let's find our database, down CA underscore rel, add. And what's going to happen here is the different privileges you can apply. If you're working with a team, you can give people permission to alter or create, but not to drop or delete or execute or whatever. I'm all by myself. I give myself everything because I like the power. I'm going to make the changes. Okay, so that's my down CA rel privileges on the database. Believe it or not, that's the hard part. And we're done that. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to get the files into the system. So let's go back, we'll hit the record player again, or the record again. And now, file manager. We were there before, right? Remember that? Here we are, file manager. rel.mooc.ca. And so we got a couple of things happening here. Here are our files that we've extracted from GitHub, and here's where they go. Now, all kinds of ways to get them there. In fact, what I usually use is an FTP application. But you can let's just go into CGI bin here. So I'll click on it and click on upload, and now I can maximum size allowed for upload 89.54 gigabytes. There's no restrictions on this. So okay, I'm selecting files now. So I want all of these files plus the subdirectories. Well, it won't let me do them all individually. Okay, so let's get all of these files in. Like I say, I don't usually do it this way. Oh no, don't say one at a time. That's silly. Cancel. Let's drop the files here to start uploading. Let's just select them from here. Now, I don't think I need all of these. This is just, it's a backup file. Same with that. You could upload them, won't make a difference. So let's drop files here to start uploading. There we go. Look at them go. Oh, they're all uploaded. Well, that was fast. Okay, now I wonder if I can try uploading the directories directly. This is all the harvester stuff. Yeah, no, it doesn't like it if I do that, eh? Oh, how annoying. Okay, so, all right. Harvester, let's cancel. Cancel by user, cancel by user. Wonder why that didn't work. All right, let's see now. Fetching directory content. Yep, no problem. Well, that's there. So we need to create a directory. Okay, this is so much easier if I'm using FTP. But I want to show you how to do this if you don't have these tools that are really handy. So plus folder. All right, now what did I do? Was it cancel? All these things are case sensitive, right? So you got to be careful. If I used a capital H in harvest, that would be wrong. Okay, plus folder. Harvest. So I'll add that, create new folder. So that's all the harvester stuff. Languages, because Grasshopper is sort of multilingual. You don't need the SQL because I've already used that. Update is for the code updater. We do want that. So update. All right. So create new folder. Okay. Harvest. And this directory is empty. See, there's all the stuff: harvest Facebook, harvest Twitter, etc. Upload. So I'm going to drag all of that in. Well, that's fast. I love it. Okay, and now we can just close that, close that. All right, so now languages, into languages we'll go. See, this is more boring than hard, isn't it? Right? Whoops, dang. Languages, upload. So you see how it's done. And okay, now I'll just close that. Might be an easier way to do it. And then update. Just a simple little shell script there. What this little script does is it will grab the most recent version of Grasshopper from GitHub and download it and install it for you. So if I do an update to the code, there's some stuff in Grasshopper that will allow me to run this shell script. Now, it seems like a lot of directory just for a shell script. You might want to protect this directory, but more to the point, it will fill up up with various backups and stuff, because I don't want to just randomly write over everything, right? So when I have Grasshopper download and install code, it makes its own backup. So just a note on security. It's not the most secure system in the world. Stuff like this download from GitHub, that can be attacked. So, don't put your state secrets on this. This is all like a workshop kind of thing, not production code. So please be aware of that, right? We're just trying stuff out. We're not, releasing the next version of a modern learning management system. Okay, so let's look at what we've done now. So CGI bin, there it is. All the code is there, language packs, update shell script. Okay, so that's great. But there's more, and we might as well take care of that now as well. And I'm going to do it the other way. So first of all, so you can see it. And secondly, because it's so much faster. So let's go back here to Grasshopper Master. So this is the HTML stuff. So all the HTML stuff is going to go up here in this main directory. It's going to go here. So basically, there'll be another directory sitting right beside CGI bin called assets. What I'm going to do for this is I'm going to use a program called WinSCP. And wonder if I can, well, here it is. So let's start a new session. So this is WinSCP, this is downs.ca, etc. Some other stuff that I'm working on, right? And I log on to Reclaim using the same credentials that I would use to log into cPanel. You can set that up. And indeed, you can set up FTP connections, FTP accounts. You can do all of that yourself. So I use WinSCP. It didn't take me very long to set up. It was really fast. And now I can zip through all of my stuff really easily. So let's do some zipping. So let's go. Come on, there we go. Up and up. So here's my home directory, right? And this is my home directory on my computer. So this is my home directory. I'm going to refresh this because I've made some changes, right? And there's my new site that I've just created, rel.mooc.ca. Double click to go into that. There's the file structure that we just saw in the file manager. Now I'm going to go to Documents. There it is, Documents and Grasshopper Master. You remember that. CGI bin. Now I could have just simply dragged this over. And I'm going to show you how that would have worked. I just drag it like that. And okay, so this is going to take a few minutes. There's a lot of garbage in assets. I'm sorry. There's not much I can do. Well, I mean, I could delete it all, but all of this stuff is still under development. So assets is a bit overblown for what it should be. If you were ever making your own version of Grasshopper or your own distribution of Grasshopper, you'd probably take that and trim it down to maybe 10% of the size that it is right now. This is why I'm using the FTP to upload this, right? Because doing it in the file manager would have taken the rest of the video, would have taken that 8 hours that YouTube allows us. Well, maybe not that long, but it would have been annoying. So while that's uploading, is there anything else we can be doing that's useful? Well, let's go back into the file manager. Because these CGI scripts, let's go into here. It's going to be a bit slower because we're kind of working on this thing, right? So this is a script that actually needs to run. And if we widen this a little bit, there we go. See these permissions. Now, these things need permission to run. Right now, they don't have it. Right now, the 644, that means you can read it, but you can't execute it. And that means everything will fail. But if you change these to 0755, now it'll run as a script. It'll actually work. So let's change these. You only need to change the ones that have .cgi at the end. The other ones, the ones with .pl at the end, those are imported into these, and so they come in already ready to run. So, but these things, like I say, it's more boring than it is confusing, right? I mean, how hard is it to change these? We'll just click on it, 0755. I guess you need to know that it's 0755, right? You know, that's one of the things they never tell you. You read the instruction manual for some software that someone has written, and they say, give your programs give your programs execute permission. That's the full instruction that they've given you. And like, how useful is that? If you don't know how to do it, you're stopped dead right there. You haven't a clue how to do it, and yet most software is written that way. It's so annoying. Viewer, CGI, and 0755. And that's the last of them. Now, oops, come on. There we go. Weird thing there where it's hard to see the bottom. Okay. Anything else? No. Okay. And all of these in harvest and those will all be PLs. And in a Perl file or in a Perl script, you might see .pm files as well for Perl module. And again, they don't need this special 0755, just the CGIs or an application that you're planning to run from a command line or from a web browser. All right. Let's check on this, how this is doing. It's still rolling. Okay, well, we don't need to wait for all of that to load to move on to the next step. I probably should have started with that. Oh, well, whatever. So I've got all of my scripts loaded. I got my assets uploading. My assets are my JavaScripts, my style sheets, my images. Mostly it's big JavaScript libraries that are loading. Like I've got the entire demo or development pack for jQuery there. I don't need all of that, but okay. But it would have taken longer to edit the code in GitHub than it would be to upload it here. So, all right. So let's see if our site works. So let's go to it. So HTTPS, everything's HTTPS these days, including Grasshopper, and you'll generate some errors if you try to just do it HTTP, so don't bother. I've tried to eliminate those. That's what htaccess is all about, but and it should eliminate them, but you never know. Anyhow, HTTPS rel.mooc.ca. See address of our site, right? Click on that. And okay, so we have assets and we have CGI bin. Awesome. Now, I've written the script to test the installation of Grasshopper, right? To make sure that the server environment supports the needs of the script, because there needs to be certain Perl modules in that installed. That's always been the longest part of installing Grasshopper. It's been a real pain. One of the nice things about working with Reclaim is that they've taken care of most of that work for me and installed the Perl modules, not just for me, but for other people that Grasshopper needs to run. So you don't have to spend the rest of the day doing that. So thank you, Reclaim. So the script, and I can show you it here in the file manager. It's called server test.cgi. Oh, hey, that makes a neat little line. I didn't know it did that. I hope that didn't do anything. Oh, well. So to run a CGI script, right? So there it is. It's in CGI bin. So CGI bin server test.cgi. And we're going to run it. And voila. So these are all the Perl modules, right? Most of them are all okay. I don't know why the Mastodon client couldn't be located. Maybe it's not installed. And if you're on another site, not Reclaim, but they're using cPanel, a bunch of these will probably light up red. So what you do in that case, and I'm not going to do it here because it'll take a little while, and I don't need Mastodon for this site. But we'll go back to cPanel and click on the record, takes us home, and then scroll down, up, because I missed it. Here it is, software, Perl modules. And this is a Perl module installer. Lovely. So if we look at what was missing here, Mastodon Client. So we just copy that and paste it into here, install a Perl module like that, and then just click on install now. Now, I happen to know it'll take a little while to install Mastodon for this because the people who created Mastodon Client decided to require the entire plaque library, which is the whole content management system, API, like just for Mastodon. Stupid. I hate that. These are all the other modules that are available. So anyhow, so it doesn't make it impossible to install. It just means that it's going to take a while. So, and you don't have to do anything. You hit install now, you'll see text, and then it's installed. You don't need to worry about it anymore. And if you run into trouble installing these, you send an email to Reclaim support, and they will probably within a few minutes sort things out for you. That's been my experience anyways. So how's our oh, they're all transferred. So there they are. Style scripts, small icons, big icons, images, small images, I know, JavaScript, web fonts, and an index page. That's it. That's all my assets. Still no pages there, but now we're ready to go. So the next thing to do is to run the initialize script. And now we're in the home stretch here. I'm not going to be out of here quite by 5. It's 5 now, but we're pretty darn close. So the initialize script, see, here it is right here, initialize.cgi. So I'll run it the same way I did server test. So I'll just type initialize.cgi, just hit enter. And there we go. This is the initialization form. It's going to set up some files and some directories that are specific to your site that I couldn't prepare ahead of time, right? So maybe I could have guessed. Anyhow, So this is the URL of your site, of course. Now, the database name, well, you remember we wrote that down. So there's the database name. So here, database username, we remember was the same thing. And the password, database password, this is the password for this user. So that's the password you created for the user. And I remember what it is, right? You can change these. You shouldn't unless you know what you're doing. But these are pretty, this is the default setting, right? But there's some odd variations of Perl setups that can be a bit different. So site name, we just call it rel. Site tag, Ariel. Site email address, pick your own email address. Site time zone window, I'll make this a drop down, but right now, just the standard America, whatever, right? License, pick your license. Key, this is something you want to write down, right? So www. Can be anything. I picked that. And you might wonder why we did that, but that's okay. Just give yourself a key. It doesn't need to be super secure. Now, the administrator username and password, this is what you're going to log into Grasshopper with. You'll use this a lot, so keep it reasonably simple. So what am I gonna do here? Take bounds and the password. Actually, I think I'd rather just go. All right. Okay, we're all set. Make sure that you know the administrator username. So I'll take note of that. And again, you can probably remember that, but okay. All right, so let's, oops, I hate it when it does that. So let's click Multisite. It's going to do some stuff. And why? Oh, I know why. I forgot to, I made my database, but then I did not import my database. No problem. I could back up, but I'll show you a shortcut in a second. You have to go back to cPanel. See what's all of these tables and stuff don't exist that it's looking for, right? So let's go back to cPanel. Click on the record. And now go down to databases, phpMyAdmin. And so the system will redirect. Okay, so these are all the different databases. Here's the database that we just created. And here's our problem. Our database is completely empty. But what we can do is we can import. So I click on import and I'll browse on my computer. Remember this? Grasshopper-ple.sql. It's in that CGI bin SQL directory. Select that. We'll open it. And I just go with the defaults here because I'm not smart enough to think of good changes. Click Go. And this will take a few seconds to upload because we're uploading an entire database. And so we're going to wait for a second. Let's get rid of that. That's really annoying. And it is imported. It executed 153 queries. Look at this now. This is our database. This is the default Grasshopper database, shrink wrapped on the shelf. And this, over time, I'd like to see different versions of Grasshopper, different versions of the database. Grasshopper is really customizable, really extensible, and all of that is contained in the database. So you can have many different databases that run and work well with Grasshopper. So, okay, now let's go back to our error page. Now, I could do two things here. I could back up and do the form all over again, but I don't want to do that. So I'm just going to right-click and reload. So to display this page, Firefox must send information that will repeat any action that was performed earlier. So I'm doing exactly what I did earlier and sending the data again, but now look. Initializing, okay, printing htaccess, preparing Grasshopper admin, done. We've installed Grasshopper. So log into your new Grasshopper PLE. So I'll click on that or run the initialization script. If you get it wrong, if you made a mistake, you can run this script over and over and over again. It's not a one-time thing. It'll just write over whatever it created before. It'll just write over it. So now, when you're done installing Grasshopper, you'll remove the initialization script because you don't want somebody else coming along and running it. So log into your new Grasshopper PLE. So sorry, it's a boring login screen. I don't really have a lot of time for them. So what was the name that we chose before? Downs CA, right? And password. Log me in, and voila. And now, Grasshopper PLE. A lot of this other stuff is legacy. Don't worry about it. This is where you're mostly going. Grasshopper PLE. 99% of the time you'll go there. More than 99% of the time. So, here's Grasshopper PLE. Oh, crap. I see that image is still corrupt. There should be a little Grasshopper image. The version on GitHub has somehow become corrupted. So I'm going to find another version to load. Well, I don't need it. That's the thing I need to fix. There should be another little Grasshopper icon there. It really annoys me that it's not there. So yeah. This is why you have backups of things, right? You'd think GitHub, no problem, right? So assets, icons, and where to go? This right here, gRSS icon. That has become corrupt. Can you believe it? So I'll find another copy of it here. If you have that problem, send me an email and I'll send you a good copy of it. And then you can just put it in here where it belongs. So, and where it belongs is in assets, icons, and gRSS icon JPEG. So you see, this is 18647 is what I'm putting in, 18644. Somehow the GitHub version has lost 3 bytes, and so it can't be displayed. So now I'm going to reload this page. And there it is. All right. And actually, if you ever want this icon, ICON, oh no, was it icons? I've forgotten already. Assets, icons, gRSS icon.jpg. Assets, icons, gRSS icon, capital letters, because everything's case sensitive, and there it is. It's a bit too big, but there it is. Right. So if you ever want it, here's the URL. You can get it. Just load it from here and put it into that spot, and you'll get your icon there. So this is Grasshopper. You can start doing stuff with it. There's only one more thing, really, that you want to attend to, and that's cron. What cron is it's a way of having your site do things automatically. Grasshopper has a thing called cron tasks, and it does all of that. So if we go into cPanel again, click on the record, takes you home, and I have to look for it here. La di da di da. Cron. Could never find stuff. People think icons make things easier. No, not for me, anyways. So I'm still searching for cron. Okay, when I can't find stuff, Control F. There we go. It's right in front of me. So click on cron jobs. Okay, so this is the cron jobs thing, and why do I have two of them? Okay, so this is my, oh, right, because I have more than one site. Okay, so edit. So, okay, so this is the command. It'll be a bit different for you. Okay, so I'm copying this, and now I'm going to cancel. All right, so now you're here, right? You want to create a new cron job. So add a new cron job. So set set it. You have to set all of these things. So common settings, right? What we want really is star. So what this will do is it'll run it every minute of every hour of every day of every month. In fact, I don't even need weekday. Oh, well, whatever. Of every weekday. Okay. Now for the command. This tells the system which script to execute every hour of every day, etc. So here's you want this to be the URL, or the address of your admin.cgi script. So if we go to not cPanel, File Manager, this is the script that we're trying to run, admin.cgi. So it's going to be located here anyways, at home, in my case, down CA. Yours will be different. Public HTML. No. In our case, it'll be the directory for our new site, right? It'll be the directory for, find it. Silly stuff. rel.mooc.ca. So let's go back here. rel.mooc.ca. CGI bin admin CGI. Now your site name, whatever it is, rel.mooc.ca. Now your key, www. Remember we wrote that down earlier? See, I just remembered it. Right? And then this is the data file. It's going to be the same directory as your site. So rel.mooc.ca, HTML, CGI bin, multisite text. And then this tells it to send the output to the garbage can. You don't care what the output is. If you removed this, it would send you email. So you might need to scroll back and rewind a bit and view this part of the video again, or you can get help from the Reclaim people. But that's how to do it. Add new cron job. Depending adding a cron job. So there it is. I actually need to add another one while I'm here, so I might as well. Whoops, I forgot to do that again because I'm stupid. So, see, this is something I forgot to do for the e-learning 3.0 course. So while I'm here, this is a nice thing about Reclaim and other sites like this is you can run multiple sites off the same website, right? So here, I've got my e-learning course, el30.mooc.ca, and over here, el30.mooc.ca. And no making fun about me for my key. I know some of you can see it. Oh, here it is. el30.mooc.ca. The key is mostly just to prevent you from accidentally triggering this dev null. Okay, add new cron job. All right. So now what's going to happen is the pages will update properly on the eLearning 3.0 course, just as they will on rel.mooc.ca. Although since I'm not using the site, I'll probably just delete the cron rather than run it every minute. But I wanted you to see how that works. So what else? Well, you're done. You've installed Grasshopper. So you can go into Grasshopper. There's other videos that'll talk about what you can do with it. What I like to do is write a new post. So, make a post. So rel.mooc.ca. I already have a post in. Isn't that interesting? Oh, right, because I had a sample post in. So let's make a new post. Make new post. Okay. Post title, hello world. Post link. Usually that's some other site that we're talking about. .ca. Hello world. Whatever. And we've made our post. So let's test htaccess. So this is post number. You see, I'm going to show all the record data here by clicking on this. And here, this is post number 68383. Now, the long way of viewing it is to let's just copy this URL, copy, and I'll open a new window and I'll put that in, right? So the long way to view it is post equals, and then what was the number again? Let's find that again, copy that again, come over here, see CGI bin, just like before, page.cgi post equals, and here's the post we just created with hello. All right, but I like the short version, post. Now, in my ideal world, this is all that this ever shows. Posts 68383. So hit that, and you'll actually see the URL expands on me. That's htaccess doing that. I'd rather it just stayed at post/68383, but well, what can you do? I've tried to figure out the solution to that. My posts are such that if you click on the title, it takes you to wherever the link was. So there's my website, which is also run on Grasshopper. Anyhow, that's it. You've installed Grasshopper. It took you less than an hour, even with me making silly mistakes and doing things the long way, etc. So I hope that works for you. If you have questions, give me a call. I'm going to stop sharing here now so you can see me again. So you can see my beard has grown while we've been doing this. That's all there is to installing Grasshopper. It's a bit of a pain. You have to know what you're doing, or at least have a video that steps you through it. Once you're into it, remember, it's not production software. It's me experimenting with stuff. I might break it. Oh, let me show you one more thing before I go. Let's share the screen again. Screen sharing, yeah. Let's share the screen again. I just want to. So the admin section to Grasshopper is here. Click on the little gear, right? And there's a section here, if I can find it, general, right? This update, local version is and master version is 0.900, right? And then if it needs updating, just click on that little button, and now it'll download and install the newest version of Grasshopper for you. And hopefully it'll keep working. If it doesn't keep working, you should have a backup version in that update directory that I showed you earlier. Let's see if it's still working. It should still be working. The code's exactly the same. We just downloaded it. So I've reloaded, and so now I'm running on the new code, and looks like it works. List post. Good as new. And so when it doesn't need to be updated, when I click on this and then go into general, you'll see that it's just Grasshopper is up-to-date version 0.900. So check that every once in a while. Or if you see a notice from me saying I've updated Grasshopper, you can update your version just by clicking that button. So, oh, I did this again. All right. Why are there two steps to screen sharing? Anyhow, here's the gear that I was talking about. Here's the general tab that I was talking about. And the little button would show up right here, and you would click on it if it needs to be updated. But this is showing that it is up to date. Now I'm going to stop. See, stopping is only one click, right? You don't have stop and then stop sharing to everyone. No. Okay. Sometimes. And I seem to have picked up a viewer. So for this unannounced, unadvertised live webcast, I have a viewer, which isn't me. So hi, viewer. So anyhow, that's the installation of Grasshopper. I'm about to sign off. I'm just curious to see if our viewer has chatted at all. No, they have not. Okay. If you have issues, send me a note. It should work. If it doesn't work, it's a bug. It should work on most LAMP sites. If it doesn't work, it's a bug. So I want to hear about it. Because I'd like other people to be able to use it. The grand scheme of things, and this will be in other videos, is that we can store our own data in these versions of Grasshopper and then trade and share data directly with each other. That's why I built the system, so that I have my personal place for all my data, and I can import data from other places and share it with whoever I want. That's the tool that I created. And for some reason, people out there developing tools for the internet didn't want to create this one. They could have. If I can do it, they can do it. But they didn't. So I had to. And I'm still messing around with it. Anyhow, I'm Stephen Downs. My website is www.downs.ca. If you ever want to join me, I don't care if you like or subscribe to my channel or anything like that, because I'm just here to inform, not to rack up views. All right. Bye, everyone.